From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
It's been 10 years since the onset of the Great Recession. Coming up, how one facet of the economy, which took a $5 billion hit back then, is now bouncing back. Plus, as online platforms grow, derogatory comments on social media are becoming more common. How a movement in Tempe is working to battle racism online. And seeing into space, a look at how ASU's latest project could help scientists see light years away.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Madison Connor.
And I'm Tyler Finger. Thank you for joining us. On another day of high-profile firings for inappropriate sexual behavior, a new policy for anti-harassment training is now in place for the U.S. House of Representatives.
The fact that some people end up walking these halls are subjected to a threatening or hostile work environment when they came here to serve their country, to serve their ideals, that's wrong. That's a disgrace. We cannot and we will not tolerate that kind of behavior.
Today's vote comes just hours after NBC fired Matt Lauer, the longtime anchor of the Today Show. It comes after an allegation of inappropriate sexual behavior. Also today, Minnesota Public Radio cut ties with former Prairie Home companion host Garrison Keillor. Lauer and Keillor join a growing list of high-profile men in the media to be fired or suspended for allegations of inappropriate behavior.
Doctors have found a second tumor in Senator John McCain's brain in the same place where his original growth was removed. 81-year-old McCain told People magazine he felt normal despite the discovery of the new tumor during chemotherapy. McCain's daughter, Megan, decided to abandon her plans of eloping with her fiance and instead of had a Thanksgiving wedding in response to her father's diagnosis. She said, quote, "You're really just living scan to scan," end quote.
It's been 10 years since the start of the Great Recession back in 2007. And while things have slowly recovered in the decade since, one part of the economy that you may not think about has come back stronger than ever. In the first of several reports looking back at the recession rebound, Bailey Vogt in our Washington bureau talks to experts about remittances, the money that immigrants here send to loved ones back home.
It may only be a little amount of money that immigrants send home, but it adds up to tens of billions of dollars every year that help villages back home. But when the economy suffers here, the economy back home feels the pinch.
For the first time in recorded history, remittances to developing countries actually declined, and remittances from the United States, which is the largest source country for remittances in the world.
Dilip Ratha, lead economist for migration and remittances at the World Bank, said payments had risen every year since 1980 when the bank started tracking the data. But in 2009, the numbers fell from $55 billion a year to $50 billion the next.
If economic conditions, as they did in the Great Recession, are falling everywhere, that it's an impact that in some ways is compensated, in some ways multiplied by what's going on elsewhere.
Ratha says one of the hardest hit countries was Mexico, where money coming from relatives in the U.S. dropped by $4 billion in 1 year. Thomas Sines of the Mexican American Legal Defense Fund says that drop in remittance payments is definitely felt in developing countries.
Remittances are an important investment in a source country for lots of immigration, and that can help to create opportunity, economic opportunity in Mexico.
Remittances were slow to fall. Ratha attributes the personal connection, noting that while general foreign investment fell 40% during the recession, remittances only fell 7%. Immigrants will make sacrifices for their families back home, he says.
Migrants, even if they lost their jobs or their incomes fell because of the crisis, they wanted to continue to help their families. Sometimes they did that by cutting their own consumption.
Today, remittances have soared past pre-recession levels to $66 billion in 2016, according to the World Bank. Ratha credits the improving economy, but also a drop in the cost of sending money.
Last 3 years, we have seen flows from the U.S. going up to 66 billion. So, pre-crisis 2008, they were 55. Now we are talking about 66.
While remittances are growing, Signs and Rotha worry that proposals in Washington to tax those transfers will boost costs and could drive the process underground. Live in Washington, Bailey Vogt, Cronkite News.
A new report shows state funding for Arizona's K-12 school system is nearly 14% below what it was before the Great Recession. The analysis shows that even with more funding since Governor Doug Ducey took office, Arizona's per pupil spending is still well below its 2008 funding levels. The report from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities says per pupil formula spending dropped last year by 1.2%. Ducey has touted his efforts to boost education spending.
State Senator Kimberly Yee has announced that she is now running for state treasurer. The 43-year-old Phoenix Republican is seeking the position currently held by fellow Republican Jeff DeWitt, who is not running for re-election. She'll be up against Arizona Corporation Commission member Tom Faris, who is also running for the Republican nomination. Yee has served in the legislature since 2010, first in the House and now in the Senate, where she currently is Senate Majority Leader.
Social media has made it easy for bullies to hide behind a keyboard, but with the current political climate, researchers believe instances of racism and harassment on the internet are on the rise as well. As Cronkite News reporter Bridget Dowd tells us, one group at Arizona State University is trying to change that.
I have a lot of friends on Facebook that will share like racist memes or racist videos.
Shy Gary was among several people who attended a dialogue in Tempe Tuesday night on racism and social media. Gary is a fourth grade teacher who says about 95% of her students are children of color.
I remember that like Elf on the Shelf thing was happening, and someone like put a Tigger, and you can probably, guess the other word, and I was just like, this is 2017 and this is still happening, that people are still like, that's okay to use that term, that's okay to share a picture of that.
The program was put on by the Center for the Study of Race and Democracy. Attendees were asked to evaluate how they currently use social media and develop a 21-day plan for how they could use social media for change. CSRD program manager Sarah Herrera says this conversation is more important now than ever before.
We are looking at a political administration that is utilizing social media as a form of communication. We are developing a space where people are going to be engaging with one another in those places in a way that maybe they weren't before, or maybe in at a level that they weren't before.
Catherine Nakagawa was one of the presenters during the discussion. She says she believes people should learn to be racially literate.
Just like we learn any other kind of literacy, we learn how to read and write, we need to learn how to talk about race also, and that's not easy to do. We don't learn it in school very well. Usually racial conversations are either ignored or they're sidestepped because it's uncomfortable for people.
This event is part of a series called Impact Arizona, which aims to address current events impacting Arizona communities and American society. In Tempe, Bridget Dowd, Cronkite News.
Some things you can do to combat racism on social media: don't be a bystander. If you see someone being harassed, message the victim individually to offer support. Engage with others who are racially different than you. Don't be afraid to speak up when someone posts racist or offensive content on social media.
The speed limit on Interstate 40 between Parks and Belmont in northern Arizona has been reduced because of slick roads. The Arizona Department of Transportation says the slick roads were caused by the wrong asphalt mix laid during a pavement replacement and preservation project. Crews are expected to check the surface next week. They say they plan to fix the problem next spring.
Law enforcement agencies across the state are preparing for drunk drivers as the holiday season kicks into high gear. Cronkite News reporter Sydney Eisenberg is live with how officers plan on keeping you safe these next few weeks.
From the moment you get your license, you know it's illegal to drink and drive. But what officers found this weekend, hundreds of people didn't think about it and still decided to get behind the wheel. The holidays are a time to celebrate for many, but for law enforcement across the state of Arizona, it's a reminder of all the officers killed by drunk drivers in the past 3 decades.
And what we do for DUI, we do for everything else in traffic, is because honoring the guys that gave their lives for us to be safe.
The Arizona Governor's Office of Highway Safety, along with dozens of agencies, kicked off their holiday DUI enforcement campaign.
Comply. Don't do drugs and drive. Don't drink and drive. Use your friends as your transportation. Call me if you have to. I'll come out.
Over Thanksgiving weekend, police made 377 DUI arrests across the state. That's up about 13% from this time last year. It's not only drinking and driving. Officers are also cracking down on drivers under the influence of drugs. 108 of the arrests made from Thanksgiving weekend were drug-related.
Driving while impaired under marijuana, the effects of marijuana or prescription pills is likewise illegal, and we will stop you as law enforcement.
Now, through New Year's, 79 law enforcement agencies are holding DUI checkpoints and also strategically stationing officers to search for impaired drivers.
We're working together in partnership so that every single person who decides to traverse the highways and the roadways in Arizona can do so safely.
Not only to protect yourself, but also those riding next to you. The Secretary of State estimates that the average cost of a DUI is about $10,000. Comparatively, a ride home is usually less than $50 and can save lives. Live in downtown Phoenix, Sydney Eisenberg, Cronkite News.
A telescope that could help scientists find life on planets light years away is being built, and parts of it are being crafted at Arizona universities. Cronkite News reporter Emily Richardson shares how this will help the scientific community.
I like to believe that there is relatively common life in the universe.
The Giant Magellan Telescope Organization announced today that they will be working with ASU's School of Earth and Space Exploration to build the world's largest telescope. The Giant Magellan Telescope is expected to be the first completed telescope that qualifies as an extremely large telescope. This is defined as an optical telescope whose mirrors measure between 20 and 40 meters across. The GMT will have an optical surface of 24.5 meters in diameter, which is a little bit longer than a bowling lane. According to ASU astrobiologist and Professor Patrick Young, a telescope this size could allow us to answer the questions of if there is life on other planets and how life on Earth was started.
We find life on another planet, suddenly that means that we know life exists elsewhere.
The GMT will allow scientists to explore many more exoplanetary atmospheres and do so faster.
Exoplanets are planets outside of our solar system. Coral Ruiz, an ASU student studying astrobiology, says she is excited to study the atmospheres of other planets because we don't know a lot about how planets differentiate.
Studying those outer terrestrial those outer gas planets more will help us figure out how they actually differentiated when the solar system first formed.
The GMT is destined for Las Campanas Observatory in Chile. In Tempe, Emily Richardson, Cronkite News.
The telescope is expected to be completed in 2026. One Valley High School is shining a brighter light on American Sign Language.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how ASL is being recognized as a world language on their school campus and is being taught by a teacher more qualified than most.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland.
In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Do you have concerns or suggestions about arts education at your kid's school? You can make your voice heard by participating in the Arts Advisory and Action Committee tour this month.
It's always an essential component of our job as a public servant to keep our ear to the ground, if you will, of what it is that community members are saying they are needing, or also saying that they are particularly successful in, and learning how to best support their successes.
This is a learning and listening period for the Arizona Commission on the Arts and the Arizona Department of Education. And the next tour in the spring will allow them to take your concerns and give your schools the tools and resources to better help arts education needs. The first stop on the statewide tour is tonight at the Flagstaff Family Resource Center, and the last will be at the Scottsdale Center for the Performing Arts on December 14th.
Spanish and French are the main language courses available in most Arizona school districts. One Valley High School is looking to change that by recognizing American Sign Language as a world language.
And there is no ASL program for in Deer Valley School District, so this is the first one so far.
Like any new program, Deer Valley's new sign language class started out a little rough, especially since the instructor herself is deaf.
And it's been initiated, and so far it's been wonderful, and the students want to learn.
We only had an interpreter the first 3 days, so that was really hard. As soon as she left, I was like, how is this all gonna work?
I think it's better learning from the source because they use it every day.
After the interpreter left the classroom, everyone in the class had to develop some patience in addition to their language skills.
It's hard for both, actually, the students and me, because we're all both new to it.
But now the conversation is more comfortable, and some students even want to pursue a future with ASL.
I'm hoping to be an interpreter because I firmly believe in bringing people together, and language barriers should not be a thing.
And even though the classroom is silent, students have found ways to connect with their teacher.
She surprised me. She's a good teacher, and I asked her about her, and I heard she got her master's degree over the summer, which is amazing. And it honestly pushed me a lot to keep going. I was like, if she can do it, I can do it.
And Abeta is pushing forward too.
But, supposedly in the future, if there's an ASL 2 or an ASL 3 class where it's more advanced and they get used to the structure of the class, they will be less nervous and probably be able to talk less and then be able to learn more.
More than 82,000 people in Arizona have a hearing disability, and that is why advocates say ASL is making a difference.
It's a national problem we're facing now due in part to the effects of the Great Recession.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how the economic downturn created a shortage of Christmas trees for us this year.
Right now it is 77 degrees outside with a cloudy sky and a humidity of 19%. We'll talk about your full 7-day weather forecast after this.
I'm Ted Simons, host and managing editor of Arizona Horizon. Join us each weekday at 5:30 and 10 as we bring you the top newsmakers who impact the state. We cover the stories in depth that shape and affect our local communities, and we take the time to ensure that all voices are equally heard. For more than 30 years, Arizona Horizon has been your voice and your source for what matters most, right here on Arizona PBS.
The Grinch won't steal Christmas, but Mother Nature might. There's a shortage of Christmas trees this season, and Mel Cooper, owner of Valley View Trees, says that's due to a surplus of trees in 2007, combined with the recession. Fewer companies are growing trees, and they planted fewer trees. Since it takes up to 10 years to grow Christmas trees, we're seeing the shortage now in 2017. Cooper says, don't wait if you want a fresh tree this year.
From what I understand is that towards the end of the season, going up to maybe the last 2 weeks, there is going to be a shortage of trees. So if I were a buyer, I would want to come early this year and get your tree, not wait till the last minute, because there could be a big shortage in the thousands.
Cooper projects his 26 tree lots could be short around 5,000 this holiday season.
Our overcast skies are still hinting at rain.
Christiana Fadul is tracking the forecast. Christiana?
Well, Madison, right now it is 77 degrees in Phoenix with cloudy skies. And then by later tonight, we're going to continue seeing the clouds, but we're going to drop down to 59 degrees. And then the clouds are sticking with us. And tomorrow, our high will be 79 degrees. Now in Tucson, we are also seeing 79 degrees there right now, or excuse me, now it's 78. In Show Low, it was 57. And then in Prescott, 58. In the Valley, we are seeing 75 in Glendale, 77 in Chandler, and 75 in Maricopa. Now for the next 3 days, we're just gonna see a little bit of change in our weather. We're gonna go to 81 degrees on Saturday with not as many clouds in the sky. But then by this weekend, Sunday, it's gonna be a 10% chance of rain, few more clouds on Monday, but then we're gonna lose the clouds on Tuesday and Wednesday with highs of 71 and a low of 46 on Wednesday. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Christiana Fadul.
A collaboration between ASU students and a major motion picture helps students learn about every step in making the movie Wonder, now out in theaters.
As Xander Wright reports, the program is called Film Spark, which connects students in the LA area and alumni in the entertainment industry.
I think unless you understand the whole food chain of the movie business, you really won't know what area you want to spend your time working in. And if you learn a lot about a lot of different areas, then you'll have a heck of a lot better insight on where you want to go.
The many areas covered in the course included production, casting, and distribution. Wonder was the movie that ASU and Lionsgate decided to use for the semester-long case study due to its inspiring and heartwarming message and also timing around the holidays.
I'm not sure that anyone else has done this sort of soup to nuts from the development all the way to the release of a movie. I don't think that's been done before. That was Adam's idea, and it was a good one.
And for our students to be able to learn from executives at that level is just kind of a one-of-a-kind experience and really special.
All semester, students from Tempe campus engaged with their counterparts in Santa Monica via live stream of the seminars. They were able to ask the executives questions, and last night, students got to ask more than usual.
So it was fun to see it just be driven by the students. I thought that it made this one really unique in that immediately there was a connection between Michael Burns and the kids in Tempe, which I thought was really special for this class.
In LA, this is Xander Wright for Cronkite News.
Women's-only fitness facilities are booming around the Valley.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we'll show you one sport that's becoming a female favorite.
Fridays, it's at Cronkite News, your social sharing connection where you choose the news. Facebook likes and shares, tweets, retweets, and favorites. YouTube views and subscriptions. We're watching you watch us. From our digital home at cronkitenews.azpbs.org to your television, web browser, or mobile device. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Then join us for at Cronkite News, our weekly refresh, each Friday at 5 on Arizona PBS.
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Hitting the gym can sometimes be intimidating for women.
That's why women's-only workout facilities are becoming a popular place for women to feel comfortable in the gym. Cronkite News reporter Tim Johns was at a women's-only boxing gym in Arcadia. Tim, what's the draw there?
The women who work out here tell me they felt intimidated at bigger gyms and just wanted a place where they could exercise and be themselves. This is Jabs, a ladies-only boxing gym that teaches women of all skill levels how to box as a way to work out.
It is a really good workout. For 45 minutes, it's solid, running, jumping, hitting, punching. You relieve stress, you relieve everything. You just come in and you let loose.
Melissa De La Rosa has been boxing at Jabs for just under a year. For her, Jabs is the perfect place to work out because its women's only facility is accommodating to her personal needs.
I'm an Orthodox Jew, and I can't work out uncovered around men. So I come here because I can uncover because it's all only women.
And De La Rosa isn't alone. Statistics show that more women now have fitness memberships than men, and that women's only fitness is the fastest growing sector of the fitness industry overall. Josette Rosine is the owner of Jabs Arcadia. She says that there are many reasons why women are increasingly wanting to work out with just other women.
There's no intimidation factor. They can come in, they know somebody's not gawking at them, or somebody's not looking at, maybe they might feel like they're doing it wrong.
And for De La Rosa, she says that the environment that Jabs creates ensures that she won't be going anywhere anytime soon.
I'm gonna be here for a while. I'm gonna be here until, I don't know, until I can't come anymore. I love this.
Feeling the burn, one punch at a time. Besides boxing, you can find women's only classes for martial arts, bar, and Pilates. In the broadcast center, Tim Johns, Cronkite News.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS.
Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll check out the latest tests of self-driving cars taking place here in the Valley. And we'll hear from the Phoenix Girls Choir as it prepares for its Christmas performance. That's the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, our series America Addicted continues as a father reflects on his efforts to save his son. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.